Kansas versus Cassandra Diane Ellison, County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state. Cassandra Ellison appearing in person, in custody, and pro se. Ms. Ellison, in count one, you are charged with obstructing apprehension. The state alleges that on or about the 6th day of March, 2025, in Greenwood County, state of Kansas, you did then and there, contrary to the statutes of the state of Kansas, intentionally and knowingly obstruct apprehension by harboring, concealing, or aiding any person who has committed or been charged with committing a felony under the laws of the state, with the intent that such person shall avoid or escape from arrest, trial, conviction, or punishment for such felony, to wit, Simon Garza, with a felony parole warrant. This charge is charged as a level 8 non-person felony, which means that if you were to be convicted of this, the sentence could range from 7 to 23 months in prison with a $100,000 fine. In count two, you're charged with unlawful possession of the controlled substance marijuana after a prior conviction in Davies County Circuit Court. This prior elevates the charge to a Class A non-person misdemeanor. The sentence could be up to a year in the county jail where you are now, and it could include a fine up to $2,500. In count three, you're charged with unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia in the form of a THC vape pen. This is charged as a B non-person misdemeanor. Penalties could be up to 6 months in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. In count four, you're charged with, on that same day, operating a motor vehicle in Greenwood County without proof of liability insurance after previously being convicted within the last 3 years for the same charge. That prior elevates this to Class A non-person misdemeanor. The fine for a second within 3 years could be anywhere from $800 to $2,500 in fines and up to a year in the county jail. Count five alleges that you were driving at that time with a suspended driver's license, a Class B non-person misdemeanor, penalties being up to $1,000 in the county jail. I'm sorry, up to $1,000 in fines and 6 months in the county jail. Count six charges you with a registration offense, alleging that you were driving a motor vehicle with a tag that did not match that vehicle. This is an unclassified misdemeanor. The fine could be up to $2,500. There could be a sentence of 30 days to 6 months. Because you are charged with a felony, you are entitled to a preliminary hearing. You are also entitled to an attorney. Do you wish to hire an attorney, or do I understand you've applied for court appointed?
I've applied for a court appointed, Your Honor.
And I do have that. You're unemployed.
I am in the process of getting, I spoke with the GM at KFC in El Dorado, and they're just waiting for me to get released from here so that I can start work there.
And that's where?
In El Dorado, where I live.
At KFC,
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
KFC, I mean, the chicken place. Okay. How long have you been unemployed?
Years. I was a stay-at-home mom with my son for quite some time, and then I just, the last time I worked was like 3-4 years ago.
Okay. And you're not married?
No, ma'am.
You don't live with anyone, common law or otherwise?
No, ma'am.
No dependents other than yourself? So with no income, how do you survive?
Well, I was I just got out of inpatient treatment in October, and I've been staying with a friend trying to get employment. I'm on corrections, and it's been tough because I've got to get an ID. And well, when I got incarcerated in,
Well, my question was, how do you live? Who pays for your food and
I get, yeah,
transportation? You get food stamps for food? Okay. Who's the friends you live with?
Brandy Hall.
Randy Hall. Okay. All right. Well, I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Check back with my assistant, Missy, later this week to find out who that is. And Missy, when is her preliminary hearing controlled?
April 11th at 1:30.
April 11th at 1:30. You will need to be back here by Zoom with your attorney.
Okay. Ma'am, is there any way that I can get an OR bond so I'm in MRT for corrections and treatment, and I just started.
I'm sorry, I don't know what MRT is.
It's a drug class that you have to take through community corrections, because I'm on corrections with Christy Ashenfelter. They're in
Okay,
Butler County.
that's
And
the Senate bill treatment.
yes, ma'am. And I attend outpatient treatment 3 days a week. And the sooner I get out, the sooner I can start work and start to be able to, because like my license and everything, I'm waiting. In Minnesota, it shows that I got a ticket back in June of last year, but I have sent Minnesota the verification that I was not there, that somebody used my name, and I'm just waiting for them to release my license so that I can get my license. Like, I'm in the process of doing all this, and then I just started with outpatient treatment and my MRT. Like, I have MRT tomorrow with Christy.
That's not why your license is suspended.
Why is my license suspended? Because I just seen the city judge yesterday, and she told me all I got to do is get a SR-22. But then when I get the SR-22 and I go to the DMV, they tell me that Minnesota has a hold on my license. But speaking with the city judge yesterday there in Butler County, she told me that their files show that I just have to get a SR-22 and that I can get my license back.
That's what my file shows, is it's an SR-22.
And as soon as I get the SR, like I'll go get the SR-22, but I'm trying to get Minnesota taken care of, because I've tried 3 other times to go. I get my SR-22 and I go to get my license. And when it comes to the point of them to print it out is when the hold shows up and says that Minnesota has a hold on my license.
All right, so you've got a conviction somewhere for driving without insurance and it got your license suspended, is that right? Is that what you're saying?
In Minnesota, I don't know what the ticket was.
Butler County was
But Butler County, yes, I have a no insurance ticket. And I set that suspension out, and now the judge said I just have to get the SR-22 and I'll go get it. But every time I get it, once I go get it, then they tell me that I have a hold in Minnesota, that I can't get my actual license. But I was I've already sent off to Minnesota the verification that it was not me that got pulled over last year, because I haven't been to Minnesota in 11 years.
Okay, well, it looks like just from the Odyssey system that I have in front of me, you have an extensive Kansas record going back quite a ways. Looks like you do have drug charges and traffic charges and insurance charges.
Yes, that's what I'm on. They just combined my probation with my corrections with Christy, so that I don't have to go see Ryan Smith and Christy. Now I just see Christy.
All right, well, Deputy, what's her bond set at? Her scheduled fine or bond?
22,500.
Yeah,
You confirm that, Deputy?
yeah,
And you said you live in El Dorado? I
Yes,
heard
ma'am.
that this morning. You live in El Dorado. You don't? All right.
I could have a
Miss-
job by the end of the week. They're just waiting for me to get released from here. Bobby Swift is the GM. And
Bobby Swift is the GM?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And he's already told me that he'll give me the job and everything. I just got to get out of here and continue my MRT and my treatment, because he's willing to work with me around my treatment.
Well, Miss Gillette, isn't Bobby Swift in on some kind of papers? Isn't he the one that sat here in front of me and threatened to harm a jailer or something? Wasn't that Bobby?
No, that's a different one, but
Oh, that was Bobby Cole. Okay, well, Bobby Swift is known to me also. I'm
that's
surprised.
for a
Yeah.
different. She, the bondsman called over to KFC and said she does not have a job there, but she does have 6 failures to appear on her record. She has numerous failures to appear. So, my request for a bond is 10,000 cash or professional surety.
Please, Your Honor. I will show up for court. I've got my treatment and I just got it all set up in the MRT classes. Like I have MRT tomorrow night. I have treatment tomorrow night. I have treatment Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 4:30 to 7:30. I'm reporting to Christy as I'm supposed to. I have no way to get any out.
Hang on. One of the requirements of your existing community corrections intensive supervision is that you not get any new charges, and you do have new charges, and if there's any truth to them, they're pretty significant and they would be in violation of your probation. Now, at this point, they're just allegations and they're not convictions by any means. But in light of the number of failures to appear and the fact that you are on corrections and you haven't been there very long, I am going to leave the bond at $22,500. And after you get your attorney, if the attorney wants us to revisit that, I will look at that again. I think there's quite a risk with all you have going on right now that you could be motivated not to reappear.
Ma'am, I swear to you, I will. Please, at least lower the bond so I can try to get out and do all that I've been set up to do. I'm like trying to get on the right track. Please, if you give me this one shot, I will not let you down, Miss Webster. I swear to you.
It looks to me that you've been given a lot of chances, especially.
I don't know where my 6 failure to appears come from, because I have one failure. My most recent failure to appear was through the city. Any of my district courts or anything, I have no failure to appears on none of on my drug, when I had my drug charges and everything, I have no failure to appears. None. I have shown up to court. Please.
Well, there's one thing,
ma'am.
there's one thing that I find curious on your record. In 2024 CR 156, you are associated with State of Kansas versus Bobby Swift.
Right.
Dating back to 11/11.
That's my felony case that I'm on corrections for.
So he was a co-defendant in that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you and Bobby were charged with doing drugs together?
I was charged. He was charged with no insurance and paraphernalia.
All right. Well,
Please.
I
just ask you to give me this one chance.
Talk to your attorney. I'm not feeling that that's a very good risk at this time, but talk to your attorney. If he thinks we need to get this in here before April 11th for bond review, I certainly would do everything we can to make that happen, but I just want to
How do I
make.
get a hold of it to find out who my attorney is?
Well, if when Missy finds out if you're still in custody, she'll let the jail know as soon as possible who is taking your case, and then the jail can make arrangements to allow you to contact that attorney, or the attorney may contact you depending on what the attorney's practice is.
You won't even lower my bond, ma'am? I'm telling you, I will show up to court, I swear.
Well, I'm sure you told 6 other judges that too.
It was city court. It was city court that I had missed on
That's
two
still
or
a
three
judge.
of them. I was in jail.
It's still a court. It's still a judge. So at this time, I'm going to remand you to the custody of the sheriff. So deputy, she's excused from these proceedings at this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.